Dude, why? Why do they feel like they need to make qualifying take an hour and a half for these road courses? I just don't. I was hoping I'd be done before Cup Series qualifying would be over. I don't necessarily want to push this back. I know there's a ton of live things going on right now. You got some MLB stuff, you got some UFC live shows and things going on. So thank you very much for joining me here to talk about Xfinity DFS. I think this is a pretty fun slate. It's very rare that we attack a slate to where, at least for me, where I'm at, Jason, I'm playing Larson. Now, okay, raise of hands or show of hands, who here has played Larson like every week this year? Has it really not worked out at all? No. I can't think of a situation where playing Larson this year has led to the lineup being dead. Even when he's wrecked out like a Dover and stuff, those lines have still cashed. So I have like no negative taste in my mouth or anything from Larson at all. Last week, I was making lineups in the stadium waiting for the Counter-Strike match to go. Just threw in Larson. Look back earlier, 3 out of 4 lines cash. No idea what even happened at the time. I mean, I rewatched the race here. When we're looking at the discrepancy in terms of speed between Larson and the rest of the field, I just find it hard to believe that Larson doesn't win the Xfinity Series race today. So I'm playing 100% Larson today. I have 10 lines. I even threw in some lines in like a 3 max and a single entry in the $12, which I almost never ever play. I just feel like there's people in this field that I think are being forgotten slightly. Now, when we look at when you review the Portland race, of course everybody got dumb. First corner, you got guys missing the corner at Portland, and then clearly you have Creed and Parker getting dumb late in the race. You got Burton moved. You got Hemrick dying under yellow. You got a lot of stupid stuff. Guys gaining positions, guys losing positions, probably where they should and shouldn't, just based on people missing that first corner. Like almost every restart, you had some idiot spin out or cut the corner or whatever. Even at the very end, when Allgaier and even Creed missed the corner, I think they probably gained at least a tenth of a second just passing through those little chicane NASCAR made them go through. And so when you look at this race, I think there's possibly 3 actual ways of approaching it. First off, I'm just speaking in the sense of building lives with 5 drivers. I'm playing Larson. Moving on from there, I'm looking at Larson where I have Larson projected for, it's not everything. I gave him 50 laps led, 44 fast laps. This race is only 79 laps, which, come on, NASCAR, make it 80? Make it 80. Make it a cool 80. But that's where I'm at. If anything, I think he can get more with no yellows and none of that stuff. It makes last year's Cup Series race look even dumber with how fast Larson was. And they just threw just went blank on his name. Anyway, the crew threw the race away for Larson. It's Larson's to lose today. If Larson loses, it's because of a dumb pit strategy. Larson has the best car, best pit stall. I find it hard to believe Larson doesn't win the Xfinity Series race. And I find it hard to believe that he doesn't get a majority of the laps led and fast lap points available. So with that said, a lot of this is going to just rely on finishing position and place differential. You can attack this 2 different ways. When you look at Xfinity Series races this year, we typically have better cars starting inside the top 15 than we do in this race. You have Allgaier, Creed, Almirola, AJ, Sam Mayer, Gibbs all there. But realistically, Allgaier's going to lose at least 3 positions. Creed is probably going to run anywhere from 6th to 3rd all day. Mayer's probably going to drop out. Gibbs is going to compete for a top 4. Hemrick's going to drop out. Sammy Smith is going to drop out. LeBay's going to drop out of the top 12. Park Kligerman, you can argue where he's going to run. Austin Hill might gain a few positions. Moffitt's probably going to drop at least a few positions. Parker will probably drop. Weatherman probably drop. And so that leads you to Josh Berry, who's probably going to have anywhere between a 12th and 8th place finish. Same thing can be said with Chandler Smith. Same thing can be said with Riley Herbst. Same thing can be said with Cole Custer. And so if you're looking to play guys in the top 10, which is one of the ways you can go with, I think Eric Almirola makes the most sense. He's the cheapest up there. Passing is probably going to be difficult once everybody gets spread out. But it's just difficult to put Larson in there in order to play the remaining, or the rest of the guys in the top 10, you either have to avoid Cole Custer and hope that he doesn't perform, which in nearly an identical situation last week where he was sent to the back and drove through the field. So we know he can do that. So you're most likely fading Custer, and then you're with just a lot of guys hoping they can just keep their position the entire race. Ty Gibbs, Nemechek, Eric Almirola, AJ, Austin Hill, guys like that. I don't mind that strategy. If the race goes green and people can't pass, I can see situations where that works. What the heck just happened? Why is everybody screaming? Denny Hamlin again? Whatever. So that's the first way to attack this race, which I'm personally not going to do. The second way is to be very heavy on place differential in the back of the field. And when I mean the back of the field, I'm talking about the value plays of, how many of those guys you throw in your line. Jeb Burton, Anthony Alfredo, Joe Graff Jr., who else is back here? Josh Bilicki. You play at least two of those guys. And if that's the case, you're probably playing Larson, either AJ, Ty Gibbs, and Custer together. The reason I'm starting with this argument is because I think there's 4 viable value plays on the bottom, and I think one of them will be optimal, and I think they all have very clean shots to get there. I think Joe Graff Jr. has a real chance of hitting value today. Starting last, if this race gets stupid, he can very easily pay off his price point. He can very easily be there. I think Joe Graff Jr. should be considered because this is going to be a very chalky slate. So if we're looking to get different, I think Joe Graff Jr. makes a lot of sense. Kyle Weatherman, I think he makes a lot of sense. A lot of these guys are going to be separated by probably 7-8 points, and it's going to be, I think these are the last guys in the optimal lineup with whatever happens. Kyle Weatherman in the SS Greenlight Racing starting at 18th. If he can hold on to his position of like 18th to 16th, somewhere around there, I think he's the first one to argue to be optimal. We have Josh Bilicki, who's a phenomenal road course racer, starting 25th. I think he could score right at 27 points. And then the other guy that I'm not subscribed to anybody. I'm not looking at other things. But a driver who, if there's a place to play him, you play him at road courses. And that's Jeffrey Earnhardt. Even on my projections, I'm probably under-projecting the guy. I have Earnhardt projected to finish, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got it for 28th. Okay? Now, you might be like, I think that's pretty fair for Earnhardt. I think that's, right where he is. And then when you look at how Earnhardt finishes these goddamn races, 25th, 20th, 25th, and 19th. And I mean, that's Watkins Glen, Charlotte, Austin, Portland. Now, I just throw them all together. Fuck separating them. Who fucking really cares? Especially for Xfinity, who cares? The fact that, if Earnhardt can do his normal 25th, his worst place of a 25th place finish, 26, somewhere around there, 27, there's a real chance Earnhardt is not a bad play today. And I can't envision people playing him. Maybe they are. Maybe they're digging more into road course history. But Earnhardt's there. Okay, so when you look at the value range, you got Joe Graff Jr., Jeffrey Earnhardt, Josh Bilicki, and Kyle Weatherman. Which I think you should just play those 4 guys, interlace them in lineups. If you got too much chalk, or if you feel like you got too much chalk, throw in Joe Graff. Throw in Jeffrey. If you're fine, if you don't think you have too much ownership, then you can go to Bilicki and Weatherman. But that's the Earnhardt play is looking more and more appealing for me. Just I'm hoping other people don't want to play him because he seems like just an ugly play. That's just where I'm at. Past that, I think Cole Custer has a good chance to be an optimal. He literally just did it last weekend. We know exactly what they're bringing. I didn't even talk about Jeb Burton and Anthony Alfredo and stuff. So Anthony Alfredo, they're just running the same car they ran at Portland. Can be a good thing. We know that the car is at least decent. He finished the race there. I do have some, and everybody I'm talking about so far, I have in some regard. As I said, I'm playing 10 lines. So I have Alfredo in a line. I have Eric Almirola in a line. Everybody I'm mentioning, I'm playing in some regard, and I'm at least explaining why I'm playing them and stuff. But, Alfredo finished 21st at Portland last weekend, about a 24th place car. I'm not going to make him a priority. I think he'll probably kind of be fairly played. Like when we look at his price range, he's right at 63. I don't know if people are going to be aggressive in the 8K range as I am. I would want to be underweight on Anthony Alfredo. Just the fact that the car is still set up for Portland. It's already been ran. All the parts on there are from Portland. And I'm not talking like engine or anything. Like I'm not concerned about the engine failing. But hey, I'm pretty sure he exited that race with some sort of like toe-in damage somewhere on the front suspension. Something isn't completely funky. He's just hopping in there trying to salvage the weekend at this point. I would personally want to not play Anthony Alfredo if I could help it. I think that's about everybody I've talked about in the value range. So now we get to like the people who are actually going to be played, and I think this is just a combination of musical chairs with your lines. That is Brandon Jones, Custer, Riley Herbst, Chandler Smith, Josh Berry. Clearly, we can't get all of them in a line. I am personally going to prioritize Riley Herbst. I think Riley Herbst is the best play in that in this range. Let me move this over here so I'm not looking to the left. I like Riley Herbst. He's $7,300, has to do very little to pay it off. Has a real chance of finishing top 10. Like, this is where Racing Reference, this is where Racing Reference really does, show up in a pretty good way, because they just, let me move this here. So, Racing Reference you can just have it sort by road courses, which is perfectly fine. When we're looking at road courses, especially with how much NASCAR is integrating road courses, they go to places, they don't go to places. Hopefully we go back to Montreal. That'd be cool. That's like a good road course. Everything else, like Portland, sucks. Road America, lame. Sonoma, Watkins Glen, cool. Roval sucks. Get out of here. Let's go to real racetracks. But anyway, when we're looking here, very similar, and man, not even similar to NBA, but it is very easy to determine who are good plays at road courses. For example, Riley Herbst today, he is starting, where are you at? Riley Herbst is starting 23rd. Okay, let's just look at his finishes here. Okay, outside of him wrecking and being involved in a wreck, where is Herbst most likely going to finish? Okay? Pretty much a top 15 car. Okay? That can be said for nearly everyone here. You go look at Barry, everybody here, outside of a wreck, we know where they're going to finish. Outside of a bad, getting spun at the end of a race, something that they can't help. If they can get through the race, Barry's going to be a top 10 finisher. Okay? Who else is back there? Custer. Outside of him being involved in a wreck, this is a wreck, gonna be a top 15 finisher, and so it's not even a lot of projecting wise. We'll look at Chandler Smith and his two races here. What about Chandler Smith? And you can look at the Truck Series too. Hey, outside of a wreck, gonna finish the race in the top 15. Is that just how it's gonna be? So when we look here, and this, like I said, this can be said for everybody back here. You got Custer, you got Riley Herbst, you got Chandler Smith, you got Josh Berry. Who else am I forgetting in this range here? Brandon Jones. We'll look at Brandon Jones. A similar, very, very similar thing. Look at Brandon Jones. Hey, what happens when he avoids a wreck? Who has been chalk several times before on what is it in the Xfinity series? Chalk. He has been chalk several times in Xfinity road courses, and he hasn't really killed you. He really hasn't. He may not have been optimal in all these times, but he is not killing you. He is not ruining your day. Okay? So, more than anything, or more than normal, if these guys are not involved in a wreck, they are going to pay off very easily. Okay? Same thing with Kyle Larson. Outside of him blowing a motor, Larson's going to win the race today. Okay? So that's mainly why I started talking about, you got these fellers here as guys who I think these guys really determine who's optimal today. I've gone back and forth between leaving money on the table and not, because if you play Larson and Custer together with some of these guys, you're most likely not leaving more than like 800 on the table. So if any of these guys end up working, I don't feel like you need to leave like 1,500, 1,800, $2,000 on the table, whatever. So that's not where I'm going. But these are the main contenders to be optimal today. These are the main guys that I would imagine being there. That you just have to play. You have to get to. And this is a majority of where my ownership is. As I said, like I have some Eric Amarola, I have some Austin Hill, I have some Ross Chastain, but that's more so just trying to get different. For the most part, 7 of my 10 lines are the exact same lineup. They really are. I got 100% Kyle Larson. I got 91% Cole Custer. I got 82% Brandon Jones. I got 73% Riley Herbst. Like, those are my 4 highest guys. Like, I don't think I'm giving anything away there, just because that's mainly where everybody's going there. That's mainly where everybody's going to. So let's see what else we got. And I'm happy to be back. Thank you guys very much for being here. It's 6-2 you guys here, join me on this Saturday evening. I'm personally not playing UFC tonight, but I will certainly be watching it. Hopefully Amanda can win the main event. Shout out to DraftKings for taking like 23 hours to pay out all the CSGO contests that are taking place on American times. Since like last week, dude, you ain't getting paid. Like if first off, we ain't getting the stupid rosters until like midnight. Contest starts like 11 a.m. We're not getting paid out like 2 in the morning the next day. Like it's ridiculous. Let's see. BMJ, yeah. I mean Larson. I mean, like if you're not playing Larson, I just don't understand what we're doing here. If playing Larson is the rest of your lineup PD, yeah, I mean pretty much. Especially, I think it defaults to that, because Larson, if he's leading, he's going to get he's most likely going to get all the fast laps as well. With how fast he is compared to AJ, who's probably the second best contender, him and Gibbs, and he's still easily clearing 8/10s on a bad lap from them. I think it's very difficult to see other people getting fast laps as well. So it'll very much turn to just a place differential play and finishing position, which is why I mentioned the place different, or the finishing position first. In case you, like last week, you had 8 out of the 10 guys who started up front finished in the top 10 in the Xfinity series and stuff. But for fantasy, all the guys, and all the guys from like 16th to 24th, if they work their way in and finish where they should, they're going to outscore the guys in the top 10, because a lot of those guys will be scoring 40s and high 30s, and the guys with the place differential will be, high 30s and mid 40s as well. I think they'll be outscoring them. So I would primarily focus on the place differential stuff. Let me see. How many inside the top 15 would you play with Larson? I am personally, outside of like I would say 0. Like realistically, like I have, like, personally, I would just honestly do not. I'm doing 10. Got to get different somewhere, but for the most part, like 8 of my 10 lines have nobody in the top 15 outside of Larson. Larson is an easy pick. Larson is an easy pick. Everyone on him when he doesn't win. Yeah. Wait. I'm so confused. Everyone. I don't know, man. What? Look, man. White Power Larson at his home track. You're telling me he's home? He's not going to bring it home tonight? Come on, man. Let's see. Sage Karam. I haven't even noticed him. I have no idea what he's up to. Where's he at? 21st. What's he doing in practice? Sage Karam is 24th fastest. Okay, all right. Let's see. What's going on, Clutch? Thank you for watching the cruise control and everything, and then just wishing that my trip and everything went well. Let's see. Balicki and Balicki or Earnhardt last minute. I think that's when you got to make that choice on your own. Both of them. I mean, Those are both plays that that I have. I'm filling out lines with both those guys. I think real. I mean, it's a real tough one because Earnhardt is slow as fuck, you know, and he is going to get what is it? He is going to get better, get point. I'm drawing a blank on the word. But his performance will certainly get better if a lot of people DNF, if we get more yellows. Earnhardt is probably the safer play, and I think he can still outscore Balicki. Balicki is probably the guy with the higher upside. I think their chance of working out is very much 50-50. Like I don't have a distinct favorite between either of those guys. I think their final points will probably be separated by like 3 or 4 positions. I can easily see Balicki scoring 28 points. I could easily see Earnhardt scoring 25, and it just working with whatever one you could afford in your line. I don't have a lean either or. I think Earnhardt's going to be lower owned if that does want to sway you. But I don't know, fucking Roto Grinders pumping some dumbass value again. I feel like this is a week where somebody would be pumping like Earnhardt or something. Thank you very much, Andrew, for being here. I mean, what's going on, JJT? I don't know. A lot of that stuff doesn't matter, man. At this point, everybody's raced everywhere at some point. I'm not factoring Karam racing in here at all. I mean, I wasn't aware of that entering, but I mean, Karam's an IndyCar racer. The guy has more road course experience than probably anybody in the field based on his go-karting alone, and I'm not too. I wouldn't go there. Barry, or I assume you mean Chandler Smith, very similar with Balicki and Earnhardt. Actually, here going back to Balicki and Earnhardt, because like I said, I have Earnhardt projected to finish 28th today. I think he could do better. I got Balicki projected to finish. Where are we at? I got Balicki to finish 20th, and they're projected very similar. When we look at Josh Berry and where are we at? Josh Berry and Chandler Smith. I got Berry for 13th, and I have Chandler Smith for 11th today. Projection-wise, it's probably going to lean Chandler Smith, but I think Josh Berry should be considered as well. But to answer your question, I'd probably go Chandler Smith between those guys. But like Berry is another guy that I, yet again, like not necessarily in the projections. Like I only have Berry projected for. I got him for a I got him for a 4.5 value today, but I just don't think people really play him. You know, at least based on like what they should. You know, same thing with like Weatherman. We even we really haven't talked about Weatherman. I know I mentioned him. Weatherman, good driver. Like we all understand that. All he has to do is hold on to 18th all day, which that is a position Weatherman can very easily do. I got him for 16th. So like, as I said, Earnhardt makes, at least for me, sense. Hoping that he's not super high owned to get different. Josh Berry makes a lot of sense to get different. Like without sacrificing a ton of upside. Weatherman makes sense to get different. I really, really, really like this slate actually. Typically I hate road course slates and stuff. But I really like the construction by how all this. There's a lot of 1-for-1 or 1v1 choices to be made in this, despite the fact that the player pool is probably only like 15 guys. Which is why I'm doing 10 lines. I wasn't necessarily gonna do that before, but I was having quite a lot of fun building lineups. So see how that goes. I think I've pretty much touched on everything that I've wanted to discuss. Are we still? I think did we just finish qualifying? Yeah, cool. All right. Who's on pole? I just see real fast. Did some guys like not do their final lap? Elliott and okay, who gives a shit? To be honest with you, we'll figure it out later. But what, dude? It took like an hour and a half to get through qualifying, man. I mean, it took hour at least an hour 15. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It's not even over yet. Unbelievable. Where can I go before lock to find out who is being sent to the rear on a failed inspection before lock? Well, you can just use Twitter and follow any of the propaganda reporters, and they'll tell you who is going to the rear. Right now, I don't believe... I mean, I'll look for you right fast. We're still, like 2 hours away? We're an hour and 21 away from the slate locking, so I doubt that any of these guys are paying attention to inspections right now, because inspections are going on right now, like even before. Let me see. Let me look. Let me see if anybody's even typed to the rear. To the rear Xfinity. None of these guys do any other work at all. Especially with Cup Series practice right now. At the moment, I don't... Well, I mean, I know for a fact Alfredo's going to the rear for a backup car, but he's starting last, so it doesn't matter. Just go on Twitter. I'm sure as soon as this Cup Series practice, or this Cup Series queue is over, I'm sure somebody will get off their ass and be like, oh, so-and-so's going to the rear and stuff. But since the Cup cars are on track, they don't care about anything else. Besides Larson, who's my second favorite to win? Let me look. I have Larson projected to finish first, AJ projected to finish second, Ty Gibbs projected to finish third, and Sheldon Creed projected to finish third right now as well. And I have Allgaier and Nemechek both tied to project to finish fourth. So, I mean, kind of the usual guys, just, the hierarchy of where these guys are in terms of skill. Nothing too crazy. Last one in, Brandon Jones or Chandler Smith. I would go with Brandon Jones, just because you're getting a little bit more safety from him. You're getting 8 more positions, which in a race like this where PD and finishing position is going to be huge, I think Brandon Jones is a better play in that regard, versus Chandler Smith. This is a fun one, man. I'm actually really, really having fun with this slate. See if these contests are all filled. Oh, they had a one I need to throw my lines in as well. I think. Let me look. Let me see if they got any more contests. They got a new $10, which is garbage. They have a... Let me see real fast. Bring this over here. I don't know why you redacted your message. I thought that was a pretty decent question there. Let's see. Let me just look at these contests real fast. If anything else is coming up. Screw it. We'll throw those in the mini max. Oh, I just missed the 25 locking. And there's nothing else to really look at here. I think that's about it, guys. I think that about covers everything that I want to talk about. I will thank you yet again, 6-3 guys, for being here. Let me just look real fast. Creed said he's going to be more aggressive to stop people from crashing him. I mean, that's like a kamikaze pilot saying he's got to do a better job, like attacking the enemy. I mean, his approach is the exact same. I don't know what Creed. I don't know what to tell you, man. These guys have to live in a bubble. They have to live surrounded by yes men. I don't see that. I don't know what the hell Creed's smoking there. He needs to just stop. He's the issue. He's the guy who's causing all this stuff. Just be less aggressive, man. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that's possible. I'm still disappointed. Oh, dude, I haven't watched the truck race because clearly we're not racing trucks this week. I haven't watched the truck race. So very quickly, everybody here, give me your opinion on Steven. How'd that go? I know he had a battery issue, and he's claiming he still has a top 20 truck. I haven't watched the race yet. I've just been seeing the propaganda from his camp, and Nick just still saying like you're gonna get. I mean, dude, that Steven kid is so freaking weird. That guy is strange, dude. Let's see. Anybody worried about Jeb and Chandler going out on the track? I mean, these guys are fucking pussies, dude. These guys are lame, dude. You can't even fact. All that stuff is so out there. It's variable. You can't even worry about. So I wouldn't be worried about it. I would not play Earnhardt and Graf in the same lineup. I would just do one. And Graf is honestly a pretty bad play. I'm playing him just purely based on the fact I don't think anybody's going to play him. And I think he can at least finish 29th and possibly get there if salary needs him to. Parker Retzlaff. So that's another one. I mean, Parker was popping up in my optimizer earlier. Like right now, he's in my second highest projected lineup. I'm not playing that lineup because I got a lot of work. I'm concerned about Parker, specifically at road courses. You know, kind of going back, looking at Racing Reference. You know, when we look at Parker Retzlaff, really like no experience here at all. Finished 17th in both the races. I think he'll be outscored in that 5K range, and so that's just why I didn't necessarily get to him. If you want to take a stand, like I have no issue playing Parker Retzlaff today. Let's see. He was really making it. Oh, I heard about that. I saw on my Discord people were talking about that, but I haven't heard it. And he kept trying to sell the tires he bought to him because they were three. I mean, I don't know. Is that guy's retarded? I mean, I don't use that word a lot, but Steven, dude, you're an idiot. I don't know why you would sell your Dodge Charger thinking that you're going to have your life changed. I mean, dude, it's a comedy of errors, man. That guy's an idiot, man. That guy's an idiot. That's awesome. I can't wait to go back. I saw the video. I wasn't sure if that was what they were referring to. I just heard him yelling over to the crew. Like, dude, what is going on? So I can't wait for him to. I don't know. I feel that's when I do feel like an asshole, and I just like root for. I hate rooting for like lives to be ruined. But man, similar to the Reno Air Races talk, and you know people dying, living their lives. There's billions of people on this earth. I now have the power. I now have the ability to watch somebody's life just get turned upside down through Twitter because the guy wants to go race in the Truck Series. I mean, I'm all for that, dude. I'm all for it. Let's see. Let's see. I think that's about it. And I think I am going to probably end it there. Thank you very much for the 58 of you guys being here. Thank you very much for everybody who's supported me on Patreon, here on YouTube, here through PayPal and everything like that. Thank you guys very much. And I will see you guys tomorrow when we talk the Cup Series race in the morning. So that'll be fun. This will probably be the more fun race to build lineups for. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.